Hey guys, so many of you are asking for updated data with the Hackmotion and how to use it. And first thing I want to do is I want to show you my graph, because a lot of times we look at something like the tour player data like Olesen and we use that as like the de facto standard and think there's no other way to do it. Of course, that's not true. So as I just mentioned in a previous video, I played in this tournament this weekend, played pretty well, hit the ball fine. And my data, of course, doesn't look exactly like Olesen's. It doesn't have to. What you need to understand is kind of like the broad strokes. So one thing you'll notice is that I gradually flatten and lose that extension. I still have a little bit of extension at the top, 4 or 5 degrees, which is perfect. And then from there, I start to, and just for you, those of you who aren't familiar, the extension is the orange or orangish yellow line here. And so as I go into the downswing, I'm just continuing to gradually flatten. I have kind of a nice smooth curve to my extension, and then at impact, I'm -6 degrees. So I've, bowed that left wrist 6 degrees at impact, and that's getting me to deal off the club. For me, I can hit the ball very predictably like this with a very gradual slope. And that's kind of what you want to see with these lines. It doesn't have to be perfectly flat. I can do that. But for me, I have to engage my left hand a lot more, which is very weak, as you guys know. And so if I just kind of let it do its thing and I'm focusing more on getting ready to throw with the right, this is what naturally happens with my wrist. Same thing with ulnar deviation. I have a bit more deviation than Olesen at the top or throughout the swing. But again, it's a very gradual, smooth curve. And then at impact, I unleash a lot of speed right here. I go from +8 to -44. So thank you, YouTuber. So that's when I'm releasing my right hand. That's when I'm throwing the club head, is right here. I start to feel that I'm throwing it immediately. My intention is throwing it. I kind of think of the downswing starting right here. Right when I start that club back, I am already preparing for the downswing. The downswing starts during the takeaway. I'm always getting ready to throw with this trail side pattern. And then as it starts to unwind, it happens very, very quickly right here. And that's when you see, note the difference, or note the, I'll clear out flexion extension here. Note the direct correlation between ulnar deviation as I begin to release the club and rotation. As I mentioned, adding speed and squaring the face are one and the same. And you can see that those two ramp up right at the same time and intersect at impact. And that is what you're looking for to get a proper release with a square club face. So if you're kind of wondering what your data should look like, anything in this ballpark with a throwing pattern is fantastic. This is a very stable release pattern. This is very boring. This is gonna hit a lot of very straight golf shots. You can see my wrist right before impact, right here, I'm at -4 with flexion extension, the orange number, and it just stays really constant. And then I just have a nice, stable, boring, flat golf shot. So there's not a lot of dramatic stuff happening. So again, don't have to make it exactly like Olesen's. What you need to do is use this data to find when you hit your perfect shots, your best shots that feel great to you, that swings the way, the swing feels the way you want it to feel. What does that look like?